chart a strategy for the roadmap for 2024 elections. The 4 hours meeting ended in 2-3 big pointers. The first point was that all the opposition parties have decided to put up a united fight despite the regional differences. The second point coming out of that big meeting yesterday was that there will be a second meeting of all the opposition parties in Shimla around 10th or 12th July. Third point coming out of it, and that is at the behest of what Mallikarjun Kharge said, that there could be some decision on who will contest from where in the next meeting, which is going to be in Shimla. But out of that yesterday's meeting, if I may call what the party pooper or the killjoy was, the reports that came out that there were sharp exchanges between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress leaders because of Kejriwal's insistence on Congress's support on the ordinance issue. But I'm not going to talk about that in detail because that's an issue which has to come later. But what I would be interested in knowing from our guest today is that what was the broad consensus yesterday on, and if despite all the regional differences, if all the opposition parties have decided to come together, then what's going to be the road like? I'm joined by a very special person, Gurdeep Sappal, who's not only the Congress national spokesperson, but he is the Congress admin in charge and somebody who's very closely associated with Mallikarjun Kharge's office. Gurdeep, thank you so much for joining on the Federal. And let me inform the audience that Gurdeep was present yesterday at the Patna meeting. So I welcome you once again. And my first question to you, Gurdeep, is that have the big ticket issues for the 2024 elections been decided? Because that is the first question which comes to everybody's mind, that if there was a 4 hours marathon meeting, then at least the broad framework has been decided. So I really want to know that what is that broad framework?
Thank you, Neeru. First of all, I was not part of the meeting. I was the Congress president, very much there. I just want the record to be correct.
Okay.
Yesterday, all these parties came together because they all want that the Bharatiya Janata Party government, which is a dictatorial government, an anti-people government, should be voted out. And as things go today, unless everybody who believes in the secular ideology, in the progressive ideology, who believes in democracy, doesn't come together, then it's a very, very challenging task. These parties, they represent 11 states, at least, where they are ruling. They have been elected by the same population, same voters of India who have elected Mr. Modi as Prime Minister. In 2019, BJP got some 38% vote, and almost similar number of votes were polled by these 14 parties together. So there's not much of a difference between the popular public support. And we know one thing, that in last 4 years, in last 5 years now, in 2024, the vote share of BJP will certainly go down because of their policies, because of their performance, and the vote share of these parties will go up and surpass BJP, because last time it was almost equal to BJP, because this time they'll all be contesting together. So yesterday, in that 4.5 hours meeting, in principle decision was taken that we all have to stick together, we all have to contest together. Now, there are 3 different parts to this planning. One, what is the vision? What are the programs? What are the policies that this coalition will place before people of India? We want to seek a positive vote. This is not just an anti-Modi front. It is a positive front which wants to place its vision, its programs, its schemes, its policies, and seek votes on that basis. So that program needs to be developed. We have to listen to various sections, various states, people from throughout the India, and develop a program. So yesterday it was decided a process to develop a positive program for India will be initiated. Part 2 of this entire exercise is that all these parties need to campaign together to take the message of misadministration by BJP, to take the message of wrong policies of BJP to people of India. And this is particularly important because the mainstream media, as well as the social media to a large extent stands compromised. So the routine ways through which in a democracy political parties expose the ruling parties, through which the accountability is held, through which people are informed of your own decisions, policies, they have almost collapsed in past 9 years. So the only way to make our message reach to people of India is that we all collectively chalk out a program and campaign together. So that is the second part. And in next meeting, a program for a continuous campaign throughout India by all these parties put together will be chalked out. And third is seat sharing. These parties, they are strong in their respective areas. In certain areas, they are competing against each other. So in every state, the scenario is different. Like in Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh, in Madhya Pradesh, in Karnataka, Congress party is the ruling party and it is the only strong party there. So it's the dominant force. But in Kerala, it is Congress and left contesting each other. In West Bengal, it is Congress and left contesting against Trinamool Congress. So there's a state-by-state variation, and each needs to be studied, discussed, and a common approach to be developed. So this will require a long process. Many sittings will be required. It will be based on data. It will be based on surveys. It will be based on the political understanding of that area. And it's a separate process which will begin now. So these are the three broad areas.
You've spelled out the three broad areas, but we do have elections coming up in important states like Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Mizoram. Now, will the dynamics of this particular front change, especially after the election results are out? And I'm talking purely vis-a-vis the positioning of Congress. Will Congress see itself in a pole position? How will Congress then accommodate other parties? That is also a very big question. So how do you see things unfolding then, Gurdeep?
Our position regarding coalition has been made very clear yesterday. Congress stands for coalition. Congress will walk extra mile to ensure that this coalition succeeds. But no coalition can be anchored by any party from the position of weakness. It has to be from a position of strength. The states that you mentioned, 5 states, which includes Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Telangana, Mizoram. Congress is the dominant force. We'll try to win all 5 states in coming months so that we provide strength to coalition. Our victory in these states, like a victory in Himachal and Karnataka, has not led to shrinking space for coalition. It has led to a greater acceptability for coalition for people of India. It has led to a new hope to people who want to defeat BJP. So Congress victory in these states will certainly not lead to shrinking space for the coalition. It will add strength. It will give greater confidence to not just political parties, but also to voters that yes, here's a political party that takes BJP head on. Here's a political party whose vision of India differs diagonally from BJP's vision of India. Here's a political party which will never ever compromise with the policies and vision of RSS, which stands for a very different India than what we are witnessing today. And this party is ready to anchor coalition. This party is ready to walk extra mile and accommodate other parties in the coalition so that BJP can be defeated.
But do you see this approach as quite different than what it was during UPA 1 and UPA 2, when Congress almost was seen as a big brother to all other parties? Now, is this something which the Congress is seeing as a change of approach for 2024?
I think this phrase "big brother" is has never ever been used by the coalition partners of UPA in full 10 years. It's a plant by Bharatiya Janata Party and its propagandists. Congress ran 2 successful coalition governments for full 10 years. That's not a small time period. And you will fail to find any instance where the coalition partners of Congress ever accused Congress party of being big brotherly. In fact, such strong was the coalition that even today, after we were voted out of power by people of India for 9 years now, the coalition stands intact. Every single coalition partner of Congress party, which was there in UPA, is still with Congress party. And we have added new coalition partners like Shiv Sena, like JDU, like now TMC. So big brotherly attitude does not stick to Congress party. It's a wrong question to be asked. It sticks to BJP, which has successively lost its coalition partners. It has lost Shiv Sena. It has lost PDP. It has lost National Conference. It has lost Akali Dal. And it has lost so many of JDU, so many parties it has lost. But Congress knows how to run a coalition government. We proved in 10 years of UPA government led by Dr. Manmohan Singh. The UPA chairperson is still accepted and respected by all these political parties. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi still commands huge degree of respect by these political parties. So I would just request you not to use the words popularized by BJP for something which is not a fact for UPA.
Okay. Coming to the shape of the common minimum program, what is it going to look like? Because, of course, the broader edifice of the entire, or if I may talk about the general architecture, is going to be about saving the constitution, preserving the democratic ideals. This is going to be part of the broader architecture. But people, the common man on the street, would still be asking as to whether at all the opposition parties can give an alternative to BJP when it comes to providing jobs, when it comes to providing, tackling inflation. These are the sticky issues which are plaguing the common man. Now, would the common minimum program also entail all these programs that, look, this is going to be the policy which will be offered by the opposition parties? Is all that going to be part of the common minimum program?
Of course, that will be part of common program, because these are interlinked areas. What has BJP done? There's a total collapse of democratic structure in this country. The institutions are compromised. And what is the outcome of that compromise? That the wealth is being transferred to only few corporate friends. That is, the entire structure which generated jobs has collapsed because the public sector is being handed over. And because the policies are basically crony capitalist favorable policies. Because the entire democratic institutions, the edifice on which it was built is crumbling, you have a situation where Olympian wrestlers, that to women, raise an issue and nobody listens to them. It is because of this that a person who is the son of a union minister, and that to home minister, crushes people under a jeep, and nothing happens. That fellow remains and continues to be a minister. So these are all interlinked issues. But parallelly, there's another thing. The policies of BJP are aimed at making rich the richer and poor the poorer. So here we have a situation. The Constitution talks of dignity. Dignity can be ascertained primarily by making people that they are able to earn well, so that they live a dignified life, and they have rights so that nobody can exploit them in whichever manner. So employment and rights, these are two aspects of the same thing, dignity. And we have to put forward a program that people are not reduced to just free rations. Today, we are providing free rations in our states also because there are no jobs. There are no jobs. People need support. But support cannot be a replacement for job. We are going to tell people how are we going to generate these jobs. We have a situation where Prime Minister and his government is claiming that they're opening 2 colleges or 1 college every day. And you find out how many of them are government colleges. They are highly exorbitant private colleges. Though this number is also suspect, we do not know where these colleges have opened. But even if we agree to that, They are shutting down government colleges and entire higher education is being privatized. Even common middle class people who are from professional background, cannot put more than one kid into a good professional college now. So this is a change which has happened. So these are our demands. Law and order is our demand. And we are going to put forward a program which strengthens the democratic fabric, but which also empowers the poor in terms of economy, in terms of better future, in terms of safety, in terms of law and order, in terms of their rights. And like we did in Himachal, like we did in Karnataka, like our governments are doing in Rajasthan, like our governments are doing in Chhattisgarh. These are the template. In Rajasthan today, anybody is getting free medical coverage up to 25 lakh. You don't need to pay anything, because that's a reality. In COVID, crores and crores people became poor because of high cost of treatment. We are generating jobs in Chhattisgarh. It is the state with lowest unemployment rate today. We are giving cylinders for 500 rupees, because in a country where more than 92% people, laborers who are registered on e-Shram portal, some 27 crore are registered on e-Shram portal, and almost 92% earn less than 10,000 a month. So people, and these are laborers who are registered people, registered workers. If they are also earning less than 10,000 a month, you cannot expect them to shell out 1,200 rupees a month on gas cylinders. So these are actual issues which need to be explored. What the programs will be, I cannot say it today, but certainly the direction is clear.
From purely on what you have just shared with us about what the broader architecture will be, the architecture does sound credible. It does look like that it will have an alternative to whatever BJP's misgivings have been. At least the opposition has an answer when it comes to the broader architecture. But when it comes to the arithmetical nuts and bolts, why are people saying that arithmetically it's going to be an uphill task to, put 1:1 candidate, the 1:1 formula I'm talking about? Political analysts have been saying that it does look like an uphill task. Now, I'm trying to understand from you that why it looks like an uphill task. Everybody knows it's not going to be easy because there are lots of differences. It involves a lot of mechanics. But how will you surmount this uphill task?
Answer is simple, because the entire media discourse is compromised and controlled by Bharatiya Janata Party. So people do not know that so far no party has been talking about putting 1:1 candidates in 450 seats. That's not how the coalition is planning its battle. We, people of India, are not being told that these parties, which came together yesterday, got almost exact number of votes as BJP got in 2019. It has almost same support it had in 2019. BJP got more seats because its votes were more concentrated in North India. And these parties, the coalition was different. They were fighting in different coalitions. If you tell anybody that BJP and these coalition partners got almost same amount of vote in 2019, suddenly the hope goes up. People start believing that this is doable, because everybody knows that after 2019, because of BJP's policies, a large number of people are moving away from BJP. Of course, they still are strong in this country. Nobody denies it. But even in UP, where they have they scored very impressive victories in last 5 years, both in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. The votes that BJP polled in last year's Vidhan Sabha election was not more than 39%, and 42% with their coalition partners. Even in UP, 60% people are not voting for them. Who are these 60% votes? Who's getting these 60% votes? So if we plan properly, if we do our political work, if we talk to people of India directly, if we place our own program and policies before people of India, there's no reason that some of those people who did not vote for opposition parties in 2019 will not vote even in 2024. There's a large segment of people which are willing to move away, and this coalition will reach out to those people, tell them that what the reality is. It's not a hopeless situation in this country. In law, if you leave out the states where BJP has usurped power, majority of the big states are not being ruled by Bharatiya Janata Party.
So
among the big states, it has only power in Gujarat, Assam, and UP.
So
other places, in other places, it's either coalition or they're very small states with 2 seats, 1 seat.
Right. So am I to assume, Gurdeep, that in about 80%, or from what you are saying purely, that 80% of the Lok Sabha seats, we will see a 1:1 fight on 80% of the Lok Sabha seats?
I never said that. That exercise is yet to be done.
Okay.
I never said that. So you should not understand what I didn't say. You should not understand what I didn't say. I said that state by state, the discussions will begin.
Okay.
It's a scientific way of reaching a conclusion. And then a political solution is to be found. And that can be done only through a planned approach, which will begin now. And all the parties agreed to have a planned approach to this objective.
Okay. Okay. Now let's talk about the party pooper, Mr. Kejriwal, and how the entire atmosphere got vitiated because of that. The big headlines coming out of yesterday's meeting that it ended in a stalemate. Would we really call it a stalemate? And were there sharp exchanges between the Aam Aadmi Party leaders and Congress? What happened exactly?
Well, that is how, again, BJP tries to portray yesterday's meeting. But in a cricket match, if one player gets retired hurt and rest of the team fights together and wins the match, what will you call it? A failure? Or the story is about a player which himself retired hurt? So issue is not Arvind Kejriwal. He tried his best to derail yesterday's meeting. The efforts began days before this meeting was actually convened yesterday. Even a day before the meeting, Aam Aadmi Party made a very sharp attack on Congress Party, tried to provoke Congress Party into an equally intemperate response. And I think their calculation was that if we attack Congress Party very sharply, Congress will also retaliate and this meeting will be a failure. But Congress Party has the political sagacity, it has the political wisdom, and it believes in a certain political culture, which is not a culture of arm twisting others. It is not a culture of putting gun to your head and asking for a verdict. Congress doesn't believe in that. It's a mature political party.
What was Kejriwal or Aam Aadmi Party, if I may say, what were they trying to prove by being so insistent on the ordinance issue when they knew that the meeting was totally about a different agenda altogether?
I think Aam Aadmi Party has this tendency of giving themselves importance much more than rest of the world. There are issues that every political party is facing from Modi government. There are issues that every state government is facing. But we fight our issues politically and we keep this coalition separate from our personal issues. I give you a scenario. In yesterday's meeting, if Congress Party started raising the issue of FCI's ban on sale of rice and wheat to Karnataka, so that Karnataka cannot rule out its promise of 10 kgs free grains to people, then what would have happened? If we had raised the issue of 4,500 crore rupees cut by central government to Himachal government, then if we had raised the issue of non-cooperation in rice bonus issue in Chhattisgarh, if we had raised the issue of misuse of agencies in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan against our governments, if Stalin had raised the issue of misuse of CBI in Tamil Nadu against his excise minister last week, if Mamata Banerjee chose to raise the issues of misuse of central agencies in West Bengal, if Hemant Soren raised the issue of attempts to disqualify him in office of profit case by the governor of Jharkhand, if CPM started saying things against the then because Kerala has been at the receiving end of the governor's extra constitutional actions. If all these parties who have a genuine grievance against Modi government, if they all started raising these questions in yesterday's meeting, just like what Arvind Kejriwal did, would there be any discussion on 24th elections? No. That is why in a real world, in a world which is organized, in a world where people have some wisdom, there is a set agenda for every party, every meeting, be it corporate, be it colleges, be it political parties, everywhere a meeting has an agenda. So you have to stick to that agenda. Yesterday's agenda was very clear. It was 2024 and its preparation. By raising an issue which is limited to Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal tried to bring focus on him because the entire country knows the attempt by Arvind Kejriwal is to show that I am important and rest you support me. It is not that Congress party never supports up in parliament. In every single day of the parliamentary session, Mr. Kharge, who is the Congress president and the leader of opposition, he convenes meetings in his chamber. Aam Aadmi Party leaders attend almost every meeting. There's a free and frank discussion with them. Many cases, there are ideas by AAP leaders like Sanjay Singh. There are leaders like Raghav Chadha who put forward their points and which are accepted by not just Congress but all the parties. There's a collective decision making in parliament. It has been going on for last 2 years at least now. Why Arvind Kejriwal does not have faith in that structure, and why does he want to do something which derails the entire opposition unity's plans? What is the agenda of Arvind Kejriwal to derail this and also derail a well-honored, a well-developed practice in parliament where Aam Aadmi Party is also involved in a free and frank discussion, and all the political parties of opposition in parliament have been taking a collective stand, be it Pegasus, be it Adani issue, be it price rise, be it China issue. There are so many issues on which a practice has been developed in the last 2 years, and Aam Aadmi Party is part of that process. So Arvind Kejriwal has tried to discredit that process, which has been taking BJP head-on in parliament, and he has tried to derail this process, which wants to take BJP head-on in 2024. So it is up to Aam Aadmi Party to explain to people of India, why did it go on this path?
Right. But if you look at the press briefing yesterday, after yesterday's meeting got over, we saw all the big leaders, but Kejriwal was missing from that press briefing. And after that, we all saw that there was a statement from the Aam Aadmi Party, and they said that, you know, if Congress cannot support on the ordinance issue, then probably they will not be part of any front. Now, where does this leave this opposition front vis-a-vis Congress's position and Aam Aadmi Party's position? Of course, you've clarified that now it is up to the Aam Aadmi Party and Kejriwal to clarify as to why they derailed the meeting. But what I want to know from you is that what is going to be the future of the opposition front when it comes to Kejriwal's positioning? Will Kejriwal be part of it? Or will somebody from this opposition front will try and talk to him, will try and make him understand that, look, what he did was wrong? Is that exercise also going to be something which is going to be unfolding in the coming days?
Well, Neeluji, after a 4.5 hours long meeting yesterday, there was a 1.5 hour long press conference. All the parties bearing Aam Aadmi Party participated in the press conference. Did any one single leader raise the issue of Aam Aadmi Party? Did any one single party raise the issue of Aam Aadmi Party in that press conference? Is it not the answer enough how these parties are taking Aam Aadmi Party's tantrums yesterday? If all the parties are together and one person has walked out, then it is incumbent on that person and that party to prove to people of India that they are serious about fighting Modi. It is not incumbent upon these parties who have stuck together, who have decided to contest together, who have decided to fight BJP government together, which includes Congress party, of course. It is not incumbent on them to answer this question. It is incumbent on Aam Aadmi Party, who decided to walk out of the press conference, not be part of it, and rest of the parties stuck to the agenda. They did not even mention the word A, either for Arvind Kejriwal or the word A for
That's
Aam
right.
Aadmi Party in this press conference. I think that answer is before the nation. That should be heard. The loud sound of silence also sometimes speaks volumes. So I think media should try to hear that sound of silence and tell
So that's
people of India
it's quite
what is
clear
the
and
real.
visible as well. But there were also reports that there's some kind of a decision on making Nitish Kumar the convener of the joint opposition front. Has a decision been taken on that as well? Or are we going to see it in the days to come? Maybe the announcement, or is there going to be some kind of a name change?
Tell me one thing. There were, again, I'll say, 1.5 hour long press conference. Whatever was decided, either formally or informally, was spelled out in that press conference. Beyond that, to bring an agenda is only at the behest of Bharatiya Janata Party. The coalition will take place its own shape.
Okay.
A person or B person or C person can be convener. That's not the issue. And that is not the issue even for these leaders themselves.
Right.
The agenda of opposition coalition is not who becomes what. It is who should not become what. And that is that Mr. Modi and Bharatiya Janata Party should not have the post of Prime Minister and should not run the government in 2024, because if they again win, there's a serious danger that the wealth will continue to be transferred to rich, making them richer. The rights that we took for granted ever since we were born, that if there's a crime, you go to police station, a process follows. We never ever thought that we'll ever see a day in India that women, and that who celebrated women sports persons, they accuse their senior, the chairman of the federation of sexual harassment, and nobody even listens to them for months together. We never thought there will be a situation
Right.
where minors will be forced to withdraw their complaints just to protect high and mighty. This is not how India was. There were several lacunas in justice delivery, but such brazenness was never there.
One or two quick questions before I wind up the interview, Gurdeep, that I want to talk about the way BJP also reacted yesterday. A couple of statements which came, and mostly from the top-end leaders like Smriti Irani, who said that, Congress itself has proved that it cannot fight Modi alone and it needs the support from all the parties. Then there was JP Nadda, who said that it was Rahul Gandhi's grandmother who had jailed Lalu, and now the two are sitting together. Then we had Amit Shah saying that it looks like a photo session. All these statements coming from BJP, how would you really understand these statements? Does it look like a statement coming from a party which is absolutely frazzled by what is happening in the opposition camp?
Well, it's a fact that BJP could find out only these statements which are merely lip service. They could not find a single substantive issue to take on this coalition. They could not find a single issue on which they could criticize this coalition. So they're talking of 75, they're talking of photo sessions. These mean nothing in politics. The fact remains that Congress party believes in coalitions. Our Panchmani declaration in 2003 decided that Congress party will go for coalition. After that, we successfully won and ran 2 full UPA governments from 2004 to 14. This is nothing new that Mr. Amit Shah is discovering now for Congress party. I think he's forgotten that 10 years of reign where Congress party's coalition was intact. It was a stable government. They're forgetting that we are still in coalition in several states. In not a single state, coalition partners have deserted Congress party. Whoever was our partner in 2004 continues to be our partner in 2023 for 19 long years, in which out of 9 years, we were in opposition. But our allies have stuck together. And B, we have earned new allies like JDU. We have earned Shiv Sena. In many places, we have got new allies from smaller parties. But BJP has been losing its allies ever since it came to power. Shiv Sena deserted it, JDU deserted it, Akali Dal deserted it. And in many states, there are smaller parties who are no longer with BJP now. So I think the political reality is that BJP knows that this is a formidable alliance. BJP may try to censor this information that this alliance got more than 37% votes in 2019. But they, in their hearts, they know that the vote share of this alliance was equal to BJP's vote share in 2019. And if this comes together, as it is now happening, BJP has every reason to be worried. And I would expect that they come out with a more substantive criticism of this alliance on the basis of our programs, our policies, not these dialogues. BJP has earned a lot of power on the basis of their dialogue delivery. But after 9 years, people are no more interested in their dialogues. And you see in social media, these dialogues have not just picked up. They have not become viral because people now realize that these are hollow dialogues. They are part of a trailer, which is not part of the real film. So let us watch the film.
But let's talk about, the last question which I'm going to ask you is, if you remember, I don't know whether you heard what Ravi Shankar Prasad yesterday said. He said the days of the ad hoc prime minister are over, and he was talking about the era of Indra Kumar Gujral and that time, that who's going to be the prime ministerial candidate. And he said that it's almost like a barat where you don't see a groom. But my question is not what Ravi Shankar Prasad said, but the question is that if Modi, of course, is the prime ministerial candidate of BJP for 2024, we are assuming, then who is Modi? And does opposition have enough of those potential leaders who can actually match up to Modi?
Well, I think there seems to be a case of selective amnesia here. Because from 2004 to 14, when last we ruled, there wasn't a case of ad hoc prime minister. We had a prime minister for full 10 years, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who even today is well respected by people of India. So ad hocism's charge ends there. And there's also selective amnesia because BJP forgets that in 97, 98, they did not know who their face will be when both Vajpayee and Advani were there. And Murli Manoj Joshi was always knocking at the doors of the power within BJP. So these things they've forgotten. Issue is not who will be the prime minister. Issue is the understanding of BJP about what a prime minister should be doing. Here the issue is, it's not a barat where one is a bridegroom. All the powers are given to that bridegroom. He enjoys the fruits of power and others just follow him and go back. Oh, no, this is not how democracy works. It's not a barat of any sort. It's a team. It's a team where all people come together to play and to win and to deliver. Deliver development, deliver joy, where not one person is a superstar and rest are his followers, as we see now. Every single citizen of India has some role in democracy, and every person who's capable should have a role in democracy. And every MP, every MLA, every bureaucrat, every member of judiciary, every member of media, all intelligentsia, they have their respective roles. And that is how a democracy functions, and that is how a system functions. If BJP realized that instead of having one dula of a barat, they had this consultative mechanism where people from various backgrounds could come together and formulate policies, we would not have disasters like Notbandi, demonetization. There are so many disasters that BJP has led this country into. So this is not how we see democracy. Unlike BJP, for it, it's not a barat or a dulha. For us, it's a teamwork to save democracy and defeat BJP.
Right. So, of course, all eyes now would be on the next opposition meeting, which is to be held around 10th or 12th of July. Thank you so much. Loads of work to you. So, wish you all the best, Gurdeep. It was wonderful having you on the program. One appeal to the viewers who are watching this interview: subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you. Thank you, Gurdeep.